Well, today's video is a little bit of a special treat for one of our Patreon backers, Phil, who only yesterday was bemoaning the lack of a decent, short, snappy character creation video for Coriolis. And I thought, hey, we're the Coriolis Effect, or at least we were before we changed our name. And so I thought I could knock up a character creation video for everyone here. I reckon character creation can take about half an hour, but I want to try and see if I can get this one out in 15 minutes. Now, the key thing, of course, to look at is this should be done in a session 0. I really don't think you're wanting to do your character creation on your own before turning up with a group. It's a really good idea to get everybody around the table and do it all together. But sometimes you have to do it on your own. So that's what I'm imagining now. I'm also imagining that we've already got together either online or around the table at the last session we played, or by email or something, and we've decided what sort of group it is we want to play. So these first 5 phases here of character creation, we're not really doing. This is about creating the group. Just looking through these groups, I'm going to decide that we have decided we are explorers, because that's a group that I haven't yet played. So I thought I'll make this interesting for myself as well. With that, we have to do things like create a spaceship. I'm not going to spend any time doing that. And then that will also give us the amount of debt that we're looking to pay off during our campaign. And we will also, of course, be looking at group talents. Should we have a little look at group talents now? Let me see if I can find it. So this would be the first thing we put on our character sheet, because everybody shares the same group talent. Just if I can type, that went. That won't take any. That's what I'm looking at already. There we go. So group talents. Let's go through this. Explorers get seasoned travelers, survivors, truth seekers. So I'm going to make truth seekers. That's a fun one where you can ask the question of a GM wherever you are once per session. That's going to be our first talent. There we go. The first thing on our character sheet actually comes from the group. Let's go back though to the process. And as I say, having done the group work, we're going to work on this bit here, the actual player creation. So first of all, we choose your background, and I'm thinking about this. In all our talks recently on episodes of different factions, the nomads are the guys I want to be. So I'm a nomad. I think that makes me a firstborn rather than a Zenithian. One of the things it asks you is, what is your origin, and are you firstborn or first come or a Zenithian? I'm not going to bore everybody with it all now, but basically Zenithians are like colonists that arrived decades ago, 60, 70 years ago. And the first come have been here centuries, if not millennia. So I'm going to go with the first come nomad. Let's put that down here in background. First chapter, no, damn autocorrect. So that's me. My concept now. Well, let's make sure we're doing this right, actually. Process, yeah. Our concept, the group suggests a number of concepts you can be. I'm thinking, though, that I want to be some sort of scout. And so you can find the details of the scouts somewhere down the line. They are called trailblazers here. And there they are. And this gives us some clues about what sort of thing we could be. And scout is actually a sub-concept of trailblazer. So let's write that down as well. Okay, and we are, as I said, explorers. So I'll put that down there as well. Maybe spelled correctly. Now, being first come, I think one of the things you notice here is reputation for being a trailblazer is a modifier of 0. I think I'm going to be a plebeian as well, which is the lowest ranking. You can be plebeian, stationary, or you can be something else. Privileged. I should know this off by heart. Basically, privileged get more skill points to allocate and fewer attribute points. Plebeians get more attribute points and fewer skill points, and obviously the stationary are in the middle. I'm assuming we're going to be playing a long campaign of this. I'm going to get lots of experience. You can spend experience on learning skills. You can't spend experience on improving your attributes. So for me, I'm going to be attribute heavy here, and I'm going to become, shall we say, oh God, this is difficult actually. Doing two things at once. Let's go back to the process here and remind myself what I'm doing. Determine our reputation score. Well, I've got my background, so I should know what my reputation is. My reputation for being a plebeian is 2. Let's put that there, and there's no modifiers, as we've already seen. I don't know what my personal problem is. We'll come to that in a moment. Let's go back here and see where we're at. We've done that. Choose a name. I always choose a name at the end. Choose your appearance. I've got a pretty firm idea about what my appearance is. There are, if we go to our bookmarked Trailblazer here, it gives you some ideas of some things you can be. You can be weather beaten. You can squint. You can have protective goggles. You can be bald. Well, I like bald. I was thinking I might be tattooed. I want to be changed. The nomads are quite into biosculpting, and I think cybernetics as well. So I want to have possibly the option to have something biosculpted or cybernetic enhancement of some sort. Other people don't like them so much. Other classes get suspicious, but nomads are into that sort of stuff. I won't write that there though, because I haven't quite decided what I'm going to have. And this person, I think it might be a she actually. She carries her stuff, carries everything with her, and many layers of clothing. So there we go. So that's that bit done. Now let's go back to the process and see where we're at. We've chosen our appearance. We distribute our attribute points. Now we talked about attribute points. We get quite a few when you're a plebeian. You get 15 attribute points. Now each character concept has one attribute which is their key attribute. Let's have a look and see which one that is for Trailblazers. And Trailblazers are, their key attribute is wit. So I could have, you have a maximum of 4 in most of your attributes, but you could have 5 in wits. Go for it, I say. Particularly when you've got 15 to spend, because now I can put at least 3 in all my others. And that will be pretty average. Oops. And I can have 4 in one of those. So which one should I have 4 in? I reckon she's quite agile, so I'm going to give her 4 in that. I might come back and change those in a bit, but that looks like a pretty good combination. Let's go back to the thing and see where we are. Now we've done our attribute points and hit points and mind points. Well, my form calculates those already. So we have 7. Well, let me just cross these out. I've got 7 hit points and 8 mind points, and you can sort of, if I wanted to on this form fillable sheet, I can leave. I can cross out the ones that I'll never use. I think there's 12 in total, so that should give me 6, 7. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. We won't be worrying about relationships either. Let's go back to that one. Where are we at? We are now looking at skill levels. Right, one important thing in Coriolis. All these skills on this half are advanced. It means you can't use them unless you've got at least one level. So this is a time when you have to be thinking, do I want to get a level in one of these things? Otherwise, I can't use it. I can learn them later on, of course, but I can't use it. Whereas all the ones on this side, the general side, you can use just on your stat score. So I only get 8. This is the disadvantage of being plebeian. I'm just giving myself radiation poisoning there and experience points. Let's get rid of those. I only get 8 of those. And again, if we go to the Trailblazer thing, it tells us what our concept skills are. You've got one. I think I'm a scout. So in infiltration, range combat, observation, or survival, I can have up to 3 skill points in each of those. But I've only got 8, so I could just about manage to have 2 in each of those and have no skills or anything else. Let's see what that looks like. 2 in survival, 2 in infiltration. I like that. But the problem here I'm already seeing is all these are going to be ranged combat. I could get 2 of those. And I don't want 2 in ranged combat. I don't feel myself being particularly shooty. Observation I'm nervous with. And all my concept skills here, this is a general skill. So there's nothing that gets me advanced skills. And I think I want to have at least a couple of points of advanced skills. I'm going to point in medicurgy, basic field medicine. I'm thinking I should be able to do first aid. I'm seeing myself as a sort of native scout that's helping the other players find their way around whatever it is we're exploring. And culture. Culture's a really important skill, and it's one that nobody chooses first time round. So this is going to be a bit of spotlight time for me when I'm able to explain stuff. I'm not going to be able to explain much because it's not a concept skill for me, so I can only have 1 level in it. So now I've spent infiltration 2, survival 2. I've got 2 in my advanced skills. I've got 2 more to spend. What should I do? Should I have observation? You see, my wits, I've already got observation of 5, so I can add 1 there, and that would be pretty good. Should I put 1 in observation, 1 in ranged combat? I tell you what, I'm going to go back. I am actually going to have 2 in ranged combat. No, I'm not. I'm really stuck here. I can get about 1 in manipulation and maybe 2, no, 1 in melee combat. Remember, I can't have more than 1 because that's not a concept skill for me. So there we go. So that's my skills allocated. Where are we at? Let's have a look and see what's happening in our process. And in our process, we are we need to choose a talent now. It got some suggestions again. Let's go back to the Trailblazer one. It tells us what talents we can have. Oh, and I said I wanted to have a cybernetic or biosculpted feature. If you want one of those at startup, you need to get it as both a talent and as gear. So automatically, since I said I wanted to be cybernetics, I'm not even worried about what it is. I see I'm weatherproof. We can maybe look at that later and see what weatherproof actually is. Now, I take this as a talent, but I also have to take it as gear. If you go down here, you get some starting gear, and you're allowed to have 1 from each line. But if you've chosen weatherproof as a talent, you have to have the cybernetic bit of it as well. So I'm just going to write that here. otherwise this would cost me 2,000 burr. Oh, and I can't afford 2,000 burr. In fact, that's the key thing. From my plebeian, you'll have noticed that that gets me 500 burr. So let's write 500 burr down and go back onto the next page. So that's not going to buy me very much equipment to start with. I think there's enough here to start your character with. You don't need to go through the equipment list buying extra stuff until you found out what would have been really useful. While we're on the gear, shall we choose those other ones as well? I quite like the idea of having a recon drone. Probably need technology to run it, but oh, I probably do, don't I? So let's get a communicator. Communicator. No, that's a communicator V. There we go. My typing is dreadful. Oh, I rather like the idea of an axe. I use it mostly for chopping wood and making camps. I'm not a fighty sort of person, but when it comes to fighty, a Dura axe is a great thing to have it with. Now, I think a Dura axe is actually a heavy item, so that takes 2 slots. So I'm going to write that down there. And 5M doses are really useful. No arguing about that. I'm not having a database. I'm not that sort of guide. I'm a native guide. So 5M doses is useful. And an environment scanner or a compass. I rather like the idea of an old tech compass, but I'm going to go with environment scanner. Probably be found I need to use one of the advanced skills for that one as well, but let's assume not, eh? Let's assume we can get away with it. If not, I'll go back and have a compass. I'll write my Dura axe down there. I'm not going to buy myself a gun. As I say, I'm not being a combat bunny here, but I do know my way around if things come to a head. Let's go off that one and have a look at where we are. And our process here is saying, we've got our name. Randomly determine your icon and your icon talent. So I've got a pack of cards here. I'm going to pull that. You won't see it because it's not online. And I have the messenger's talent. I can't remember what the messenger's talent is. So let's have a look. So this is like my star sign. It means everybody's got a choice of, or a random selection of one of 9 talents. Let me see, did I bookmark that earlier on? I did not, but I did bookmark weatherproof. See, I was cheating, actually. Did all this once already. Don't tell anybody. So weatherproof, heavily modified to withstand all climates. Oh, I like that. Recycle body fluids and conserve energy. The effect of this is that the time between each point of damage you suffer from thirst or hunger is doubled. It would cost me 2,000 burr, but as I say, I get it as a startup talent. There's the messenger's talent. Let's read description. The message is that you make one person obey you without having to test manipulation. Pretty cool. Use that once per scenario. I can live with that. So that's pretty much, I need to put some details in here for my Dura axe, but that is my character creation done. I'm going to name her Karash. And there we are. Okay, so a very quick guide. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, put them on the YouTube thing at the bottom. And or come and join us. And if you want a special video made for yourself answering one of your questions, then become a patron like Phil did and ask us. Talk to you soon. Bye.